Hi, my name is Terry Shea, U.S. TAI Martial Arts Association. With me today is Rob Smith. We're going to work on one technique, circle of fire, and its modifications. So, the circle of fire is based on a simple right punch, though it actually doesn't matter whether it's a right punch, left and right punch. None of that really makes a difference. Excuse me, it's a left punch. So, circle of fire goes off a left punch, and what we're going to do from there is basically we're going to describe a circle of strikes. When Rob throws the left punch, I'm going to block here, and I'm going to sort of make sure that my body is in a position of checking his legs, so my knee's going to turn a little bit in. When I do this, I'm going to come in, strike the temple by raking the four knuckles across the temple here. Step in, drop the hand into the chest, elbow, and hammer fist. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how it's supposed to look. At speed, it's going to be like this. Here. Now, it's a very simple one. What do we do about the other hand? That's why we have this hand. It's our guard. So when he throws that punch, even if he throws another punch after that, we still got this. And at the same time, we can come in here, block, push the hand aside, and come right in with the rest of the technique. Now, I use an open hand because I like to grab and pull, but you can use the back of the hand. You can actually come in and drive the side bony part of the palm heel directly into the pubic bone of the bladder. It does exactly the same thing. As I said, the possibilities here, we have block, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go for the floating ribs here on an upward hammer fist, tilting the chin up. Then I'm going to come down on the collarbone, fingers to the eyes, and hammer fist to the ribs, or I can go to the side of the neck with a knife hand, either one. This is just a simple modification of circle of fire. So we're going to go through this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 here. So this is a sort of modified circle of fire. Why do I do it? First, because I really like it, and second, because it flows well. Third, because I'm not just using one hand, I'm using both hands. I don't like the idea of any technique that uses only one hand, especially if you're doing more than one strike. I like to have some reciprocity, some balance between the hands. So when I do this technique, I come in 1, strike, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is what I consider better use of my time and better use of my abilities. When I look at a technique that only uses one hand but ignores this, I have to ask myself, what can I do with this hand besides just guard? There's got to be something better. So I like to be able to throw something in that takes no more time than the original technique did and is more, in my mind, balanced. I like the idea of balancing a technique. Now, ergonomically, we look at how the body moves. When he throws his punch, I'm coming in, striking here, his head's going to drop, he's got to move back. At this point, I make use of that. Here, this hand uses the entire body to come down and drop down onto the person. At the same time, I'm popping the chin up, keeping his body from rocking too far forward. So I'm using his momentum and his reactions and my strikes together to let him do most of the work. Here, here, here. We have a total of 7 strikes here. In circle of fire, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I'm adding is a couple more strikes. Instead of this hand just guarding, I'm striking the ribs. So there's a first strike here, second strike, third strike, fourth, 5, 6, 7. Now, a couple of questions that come up. One of which is, why am I striking the ribs first in one direction, then in another? Well, if you ever looked at how the body is built, how the floating ribs are built, when you strike an upward strike, it actually kind of pushes those floating ribs into the lungs. It can cause severe pain. And it doesn't take much. In a downward strike to the ribs, you don't see that effect nearly as much. In an upward strike, you do. So that's why I add the upward strike and the palm heel at the same time. The palm heel has 2 purposes. The first purpose is to keep this person from bending over too far and losing my target. The second purpose is when I do the palm heel, I'm going to work the fingers into the eyes at the same time, if I can. If not, it doesn't really matter. I think I have more than enough strikes to do the trick. So, again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is a raking strike. 6, collar, you break that collarbone, and that arm's useless. It won't move. You can't lift it up. It's impossible. I know because it's happened to me. Striking here, again, hammer fist, and this whole bite drives into this. So that's the idea. We're using body weight here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the difference between the old circle of fire and my version of it is simple. I'm using both hands.